guys, it's the Green Room Podcast with your randomly weird hosts, me, Danny, the wonderful and exciting Beanbag Gaming, and Adam, who is a man in a hat.
That's a solid start. I think that's as good as an intro as we could possibly have expected, I think. First of all, we're going to talk about which games we've been playing, and who are we going to start with?
Me.
Danny, what game have you been playing?
Anyway, this week I have been playing Fallout 76.
The game is finally out. The
It is
beta
finally
is
out.
over. Is it still a buggy abomination?
Is it broken?
It is still a buggy abomination. Unfortunately, we've had a few issues. Last night I was doing some of the early quests because I started again. I didn't want to keep my beta crap, so I just deleted everything, started from scratch.
What was it that made you decide to abandon the save you had on the beta? Because you played a good 15 hours in stuff.
Because I asked about too much, didn't really do anything, ended up in the middle of nowhere, kept dying, didn't have any stuff. So and also I had no real strategy when I did it, I just fart-arsed about, essentially,
Really?
for ages. So I was like level 9 with no real progress at all. I was at Voltech University, got eaten by a mole rat about 28 times, and I was like, I'm probably out now.
And Fallout.
Can't really do this.
I have to admit, if I do end up buying the game, I'll probably end up starting the character from scratch because, you know, I basically thought to myself, well, I can do anything. It's a brand new game. I can do absolutely anything. And I basically created a farmer.
Yeah,
I just built myself a little farm, my own little ranch. I had my little crops, and I'd designed my characters.
Cows?
So they were no. But why is that not available?
What, have cows?
I want a cow. But basically, I developed the entire character around building myself a little farm. And I don't know why I did it.
I saw someone on the way into Flatwoods had built the world's biggest base.
Really?
It was like 4 stories with like 18 turrets on it, and he was like farming cats that wandered into the vicinity, and he was just collecting cat
That's
meat.
incredible.
I want to be his friend.
Yeah, who doesn't want to play an online game and raise cats?
He didn't raise cats, he was killing cats. There was just a lot of cats.
Fallout
that's
Now
not
edition.
That story isn't quite so cute. It's like, there's this
The
guy.
Croydon cat killer has built a base.
There's a guy who just collects cats. You go, oh, how lovely. Yeah, and then kills them. This isn't such a cute story
He
anymore.
didn't
I
have
don't
them
like
in a
where
pen.
this is going
but
anymore.
basically, 76 has made it so that when you first get to Flatwoods, you do all your responder stuff. You have to cook a ribeye steak, so you have to go and get Brahmin meat, which involves you having to kill one of the 35,000 cows that are in the vicinity. And yesterday it was super harrowing, so I was just like pottering about doing some quests, and there was like 15 people in Flatwoods just shooting Brahmins in the head, and I was like, Brahmins, no! Let's move on. Moving on from bovine adventures.
But yeah, I managed to squeeze in about 10 hours since the last podcast of Fallout during the beta. I had some major issues where my screen turned like acid trip colours, and
I saw it was great.
Yeah, when I put this up on when I do the edited version on YouTube, I'll make sure that some of the footage ends up on there because it was trippy as hell. So I found it unplayable for like 2 of the beta days. So I was a little cross, to say the least.
But my glitch last night was I went into Flatwoods, and spoilers, guys, when you first go to find your overseer's camp, it gives you a town you have to go to find one of the factions in the game, and most things centre around the church. So I went off to do my cow quest, and then I came back from my cow quest.
Boo.
So I came back to the church. I got to the church, thought, this looks incredibly fucking weird. What's going on here? And the door was just a void. And I was like, this is interesting. Let's run with this.
You showed me that. If I can find a way of getting it from the PlayStation onto my PC, then I'll make sure that's included as well. Because that was glorious. That was an amazing.
I walked in
glitch.
and everything's grey. Just grey, nothing's rendered. Like, everything was just kind of bumpy from where there were features, and there was one table and a chair that had rendered. The whole rest of the building hadn't. You could see out the sides. I had to walk about 500 yards in the other direction to get everything to render. It was horrific, and I was scared for my life. I felt like I was in one of those creepy like simulation things, like that episode of Rick and Morty where they're in like constant simulation.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Weird glitches break your immersion in a game.
They really do. So, Adam, what have you been playing this week?
SNES, N64.
You've gone old school again.
I've had a retro week. But it's actually really sad because I'm selling it all.
You're selling it all?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's time to let it go.
Oh.
Oh, you played all your old games and stuff.
All of my SNES games, all of my GameCube games,
Well, now the
But there is
all of my
something-
N64 games, my CRT. The guy that I got it off, he said anytime I want new games, give him 20 quid and he'll put as many new games on as I
Okay.
want. So I don't need.
So you're scrapping everything but keeping that, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
But it was the novelty of having all the original consoles, wasn't
Don't,
it?
will you just stop?
Oh, stop being so dramatic.
I'm gonna miss but I've had it. You know, I've been collecting this for like since you know me.
Yeah,
Like
we've
3,
actually
4
had to.
years?
I've been collecting the SNES games and the N64 games, the game, like all Nintendo since you moved in, like 3 years ago, and now it's all
But this
going up tomorrow.
But this is. Oh God, it's so depressing. But
Yeah, but it actually is.
yeah, no, actually, I totally
But
get
I
it. 'Cause
don't-
we had some amazing times when we used to play on some of that stuff.
But I just want a Nintendo Switch so we can play new Mario Kart.
Yes.
And I can beat Danny every night forever.
Yes. Mario
And you.
Mario Kart does make an evening.
Mario Kart brings out the worst in us, though. Like,
Yes.
We are terrible,
there's a level of
terrible
rage.
competitive people.
Look how bad F-Zero was.
One night played Mario Kart on the N64, first to 50, and he beat me 48
Yes.
to 50. And
No,
I have never forgiven
It
you.
was one of the... Yeah, you couldn't have written it to
I
be
just
that
came home
close. It
from
was just
work and you guys
ridiculous.
are like, we're playing best of
Cheated.
50. Ah!
Can you imagine? Because
Well, we were doing it for like 4 days, and you walked in and I lost by 2 rounds. Oh, so angry.
we've definitely not
F-Zero
wasted
time
any
trials.
time.
Mario Kart.
To be fair, if anyone gets a chance, play old school F-Zero. They've just been fantastic games. Absolutely fantastic games. On most games, if you get 2 players together and say, do you want to play this? Then they'll think to themselves, right, well, we'll be rating against each other live, split screen, that sort of thing. But in truth, what we end up doing is we'll end up going in time trial and we'll all take turns in trying to beat each other. And I don't think many people do that, but it's been so much fun to do.
We're keeping the GameCube.
Oh, we're keeping the GameCube.
Hello. It's for you, it's Nintendo. Tell them to do an F-Zero
Hello?
remake.
I'm actually in the middle of a podcast, so I don't really have time to. I don't really have time to do a sketch right now.
That's all I want. F-Zero remake.
Yeah, of course. You
We made
briefly
Red Out.
You briefly had Red Out, which was really close. It didn't feel quite right, but it was pretty close.
I liked it.
Wasn't F-Zero though, was it?
No.
That's the thing. We were like, this is fun, but we kind of went.
But it's been this way for a long time. There are so many sequels where you go, it's good, but it's not quite as good as the first one. I had this conversation with Jeff quite a few times about Civilization. And he was saying the latest, we both
Civ
agreed
6.
that Civilization 6 isn't as good as Civilization
No,
5.
I agree. They changed some of the mechanics with Civ 6, which I didn't really like. I like it as a game. I do like, your options of countries and whatever. But I
Never played it.
do think...
Oh, they're great games, but it's one of those games where they tried doing like was it the Xbox where they tried doing a version of Civilization, but they basically went, this is going to be too complicated for those console peasants, so we're going to
PlayStation
dumb it
and
down.
Xbox.
So they're going to.
PC Master Race.
Yes, exactly. So they dumbed it down to such an incredible level that it was just unplayable, absolutely unplayable. But Civilization itself, as a series, is fantastic.
I agree.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'd never played Civilization until I met this little creature, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
You got more into it than I did for a while.
I played online Civilization with my brother for like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, we've been playing the same game for like a year now.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's bothered to do anything.
Yeah, another of those games where, although it's always been available online, who cares? No one actually did it. I think you may be the first person to actually play Civilization online. The latest version, you go, oh, it's all the latest graphics. They've thought it through. They've simplified stuff, and you go, well, it's just not the same.
Simplifying. It's the same with Total War. They seem to have made that. They've tried to simplify that a lot. I noticed with Warhammer that all the things that worked with like Rome and Medieval Total War 2.
Because, and ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to find two people that have been massively into the Total War series, it's us two. It's us two. But you'd kind of expect that from me because that's quite a sort of strategist, nerdy game to get into. So for me, it's not that surprising. But for you, not so much.
Well, I really enjoyed the multi-levels to particularly Medieval Total War 2. But I found that with Britannia and Warhammer, they've very much tried to simplify menus and how you build, and it's just made it overly complicated. They've complicated something they've tried to simplify, and it's made it almost unusable to me.
Yeah, but that seems to be the problem. With sequels, they tend to, the layout is key. It really is key. Like I say, you take games like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that, and did you actually finish it?
Yeah.
Did you find the controls particularly intuitive?
Oh no, I thought they were fine.
Really?
Yeah, Rockstar, they're always good. Like, it's Grand Theft Auto with horses. So
Grand Theft Horses doesn't have the same ring.
Grand Theft Horses?
Grand Theft Auto with horses sounds like it should be a derogatory thing, but it's actually great.
Grand Theft Horso?
No, I'm not asking for clever play on words here.
They should bring that out.
They really should. They really should. So, you've said that you're getting rid of like a whole bunch of games, but which games out of the old school classics have you been playing
right now?
Yes, that was the
Alien Isolation.
I seem to remember really liking that. It's a platformer, isn't it?
No.
Apparently it's not a platformer, and I'm a scumbag for not knowing that.
You have to leave our lives.
Damn it!
Now. Leave.
Talk me through it, people.
So it's basically, it's a survival horror game.
Okay.
Set just after Aliens finishes. The movie.
Okay.
It's great. It's
what happens? Well,
you're being pursued by aliens.
It's a first-person survival horror. So you have to investigate an abandoned ship, the Nostromo.
Okay.
So you go there. You don't know what's going on. The alien's there, and it's scary as fuck. Because
it's the one that can hear you.
Yeah, they programmed.
If you wear a mic or you don't turn the option on,
they did so good with that.
The alien can hear you, and it will stalk.
Wow.
No, that was so good.
Why have they not brought that into more games? That's brilliant.
I turn it off because I played it to begin with, not knowing this. And then my brother was like, I was like, the alien's just everywhere. And I got, like, I'm never going to beat this game. It's stuck in a luggage lounge for, like, forever. Because I can hear the alien in the vents and it's scaring the shit out of me. And he was like, have you got your mic turned on? And I was like, no, I haven't got a headset on. He was like, no, there's an option. Even if you don't have the mic plugged in, the controller will pick up the sounds.
So basically,
it's such a good game because it's literally
a game that forces you to play it in silent.
No, but it's bare minimum. You've got hardly any weapons at all. So if you come across the alien, you have to hide.
Which is something I think they need to start doing in more games. I've always thought vents.
Any way you can, like you can't, like it's not like a first-person shooter. If you see the alien, it's like,
bye.
Sweet.
It's like hide or you're dead.
I spent ages hiding in a fridge, maybe in like a cafe.
It was so
because
good though.
It came out of the ceiling and I shit myself and just went to the nearest thing I could hide in.
It's the best game based on the Alien franchise they've done.
I think
apart from Alien vs Predator on
it sounds like they've gone for concepts that no one would have thought of. I would never have thought of that. You know,
I honestly think the game is completely underrated. It got good reviews, but I think it's completely.
Very underrated. It's a very
I
good
think
game.
it's completely underrated.
Is this the
and
game
I've died
you had on the PC?
I got it on the PC. Yeah.
So I have that game.
Yeah. I have it on the PC and on the PlayStation.
Screams of a Let's Play further down the line. Might have a crack at that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'd like to see you shoot yourself.
You're going to die.
As if I would. I'm a big brave soldier, me.
When? How? When have you ever been a big brave soldier?
Big brave soldier, I am. No, that should be fun. I actually think I might do that. I might do that on a Twitch stream at some point.
Yeah, sick.
Dude, you'll love it. It's a great game.
Yeah, you will
Yeah, I
enjoy
think it sounds
Great
to me
game.
like I will. I probably just won't get over the novelty. And of course, oh god, hang a minute. If I stream it, then I'm going to spend the entire time going, "Hi and welcome to Bad Beany," and then just have hundreds of aliens coming at
Just be
me.
you silent.
When have you known me to stream silently?
Guys, be silent. It's going to be amazing. Make that your priority. Get him every single stream. Nag him to play Alien Isolation. Just have a stream where he's not shouting inanely, so I can get some sleep in the other room or hear my own games.
That's totally going to happen. Okay, so Adam has covered what game he's been playing this week. You've covered what game you've been playing. I've obviously been playing 2 Point Hospital because I have no significant life of my own. But I've also got back into Total War Britannia. So it was really weird that you brought up Total War.
No, I knew you'd been playing Total War Britannia.
Really? Then you've spiked. You've effectively spiked my segment here deliberately. You're a
Sabotage!
You're a horrible girl.
Listen, Sweet Peach, we live in the same house. You're my boyfriend. We've been together for years. And
Sweet
I
Peach.
walk into this room and you're playing Total War. Like, I don't...
Fair enough.
It's not like you have to hide it from me. Like
Okay. So, my point is, I've been playing Total War lately. I've been doing that quite...
Oh god, literally banned.
Yeah, so I've been playing Total War lately, the Britannia version, because although the Three Kingdom ones come out, I just can't find it as relatable as the Britannia one, because I'm British, and who doesn't want to play like a tribe in Britain?
I get it.
You know, and it's one of those really annoying things is that I think they've kind of run out of ideas a little bit. And I'm normally the first person to rule against this, but I think they should have done medieval Total War 3.
I agree.
Instead of going for China. I just don't think enough people care. You know, I just don't think...
But I didn't think enough people would care about Total War Warhammer, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, no, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Oh, no, they nailed it. It was great.
Because it's... Right, anyone who's into like Lord of the Rings, Warhammer, any like fantasy games and stuff like that, it's basically playing that. It's like you can be elves or humans or orcs or
Skyrim.
Evil, yeah, Skyrim, that's exactly it. Yet combined with Total War, they appealed to, the idea of having a Warhammer version appealed to so many people.
Oh no, I understand
I think they were genius. To the point where they just went, well, what should we do as a follow-up to, now we've done Warhammer, what should we do? Another Warhammer one. You know, to the point where we were going, it's too soon, isn't it? And then they made it gorgeous, like, oh, okay, we'll forgive it.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, I enjoy playing Total War games if I'm like in Europe or if I'm in Britain and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's relatable levels, isn't it, as well? Like,
that's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it.
It helps you immerse yourself in a game if you have some sort of basis in your own reality. Warhammer be because it's something that you previously enjoyed.
Warhammer is just for pure enjoyment, because the idea of like in the other Total War games you're like, you've got these people and if you want to be really adventurous there's a group who've got elephants and watching them charge is amazing, and you go, okay, cool, now let's put an 80-foot fire-breathing dragon in the middle of all that and tell me that's not going to interest you a little bit. And it's like, yeah, okay, and what about these like giant trees? Proper Lord of the Rings style giant trees storming the battlefield. Would that interest you? And it's like, yeah. It's like, it's Warhammer. I don't care what it is. There's giant trees and there's dragons. Who cares what else is it?
The cinematic trailers were great as well.
Oh yeah, I mean that sold it. That single-handedly sold it, because the amount of stuff they had to work with was just fantastic. True. It's even if you're not into Warhammer, the Warhammer worlds that they've created,
they are really cool
wonderful.
Because they're a bit of everything from every kind of myth or legend you've ever heard. So you can. If you can't buy into one bit, there's definitely something you can. Yeah,
that's exactly it. So yeah, well, the Total War games are great. I still prefer the Britannia one, but it's the same way. I like the grand campaign type games, the grand strategy games. So like Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, anything made by Paradox.
Yep. Did you look at that? Did you look at that game?
I didn't get a chance to look at it. I will take a proper look at it. And so Total War and stuff like that, I'm into all of them. Into absolutely all of them. And yet, it doesn't matter how varied you make it, I'll still find some way of going Scotland.
Don't you still own...
It doesn't seem to matter which game it is. I still end up going the same group. It's like, whichever one Scotland's in. I kind of am a bit jealous of this, is when you used to play Total War, you'd complete it as like England, and then you'd go, I'm going to try completing it as Portugal. Yeah. And then once you'd done that, it was like, I'm going to complete it as an Arabian country of some kind.
Yeah.
And for me, it's
Egypt.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, I'm going to play as Scotland. I've completed the game as Scotland. I'll go Scotland again. I've completed it as Scotland. I'm now bored of the game. There's no variety here. Of course there's no variety. You don't do anything differently. So yeah, as a result, I bring my own boredom on myself in that respect.
It's a strategy game. You have to change your strategy. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, I don't wanna. I don't like change. Change is bad.
I think what a lot of people don't realise with certain games, they're strategy games to an extent, but mostly like RPGs and stuff. If you change the way you play the game, you play a different game.
Yeah.
You like open worlds particularly.
And I know I should know better by now. I play enough strategy games to know that, but I still don't.
No.
I still don't. I was trying to think of different ideas of what to cover in the podcast the other day. And then I thought, I'm going to play some Fallout 76 and try and sort my head out and everything. Yeah. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the entire game glitched to high heaven.
Yes.
And it got me thinking about funny moments in gaming.
The best game moments in games are always when something glitches.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever watch, like, half of Adam's YouTube history is him going through, like, glitches in gaming.
So right.
Yeah.
That is literally me.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, you go through the entire history and it's like, I wonder what he's been up to.
That great Red Dead one we watched the other week was pretty cool.
Which one?
It was just stupid, like that, like 55 horse pile up. And like,
that was amazing.
There's one where a carriage just goes into the air and gets stuck in a tree.
There's like a simple country path with a T-junction on it, and the entire thing looks like the M25 during like a major incident because it's just horses piled on top of each other. And then people can see it from miles off, and it's like, well, he's bound to go around. And then he just dives into the pile of other horses.
And then a horse goes over, and then the
horse bursts into flames and stuff.
Yeah, what is with that? Horses, like...
If you guys remember my Twitch channel, if you can find the clip, there is a clip of me playing Fallout.
Danny,
there is an incredibly important piece of dialogue in which my affinity with X688 has gone up, and he wants to have a serious conversation with me whilst trying to kill 1,000 raiders, and my head disappears.
Yeah, it literally pans to you and it's your decapitated body.
Yeah,
but still
just
talking.
Standing there chatting with no head.
There is a PC Skyrim mod that changes every dragon in the game to Thomas the Tank Engine, and I want to enable it.
It's amazing.
There's one for Fallout 4 as well, where you can make all the robots and your companions look like Thomas the Tank Engine, and when they move, they make the theme
How did that become a thing? What is wrong with people?
It's mean. It's
people like you.
It's not me. I don't have the I'm not smart enough to do stuff like that. If I was smart enough to do stuff like that, I would absolutely be doing it.
Yes, but you're weird enough.
I am weird enough to think of it. I'm not smart enough to do it.
Sentry bots in Fallout 4 would be so much more terrifying if they made the default every time they powered up. Instead of making that stupid puffing noise, they went do 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 do. Interject.
Danny.
Anyway, my funniest moment in games was playing the PlayStation 1 constantly and consistently. Harry Potter games. They're fucking great games. They were kind of a cross between a platformer and an RPG. Everything was pretty squared. You had little mini games and stuff in, but there were some great glitches in there, mainly where Ron Weasley would get stuck in a bush and couldn't pick up a mandrake for ages, and his big square hands just flailed around.
It was weird because I assumed when you mentioned that last week that you were exaggerating, and then I had to dig out footage for the edit. Yeah. And I thought I need to dig out footage of Harry Potter, and I watched about 15 minutes of the game, and it is every bit as bad as you suggested it was, because they've got Hagrid on there.
Yep.
And Hagrid looks like you remember. I don't know if you lot ever watched Thomas the Tank Engine, but if you remember the Fat Controller, basically his arms and his body were one.
Yes. You leave
Hagrid
alone.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about Hagrid in particular, but their rendition of Hagrid was absolutely horrific. It was just literally just this one little...
He was box with a beard.
He literally looked
He's
like an
a
Easter
beautiful
egg with a
bearded
beard on
bodyguard.
it. It was absolutely amazing. Again, I'm gonna make sure there's clips of it on here because
the mini games as well were glitchy. It was beautiful. I think a lot of the best comedy dialogue is usually in Bethesda games, particularly
Bethesda do it very well.
76 has been very good actually as far as dialogue goes.
Some of the terminals where they're going on about how they've had to fire someone because he didn't smile first time.
He had to go on a smiling course, that kind of thing.
He had to go on a smiling course, that was it. Yeah.
3 was very dry. New Vegas similar, but yeah, 1 and 2 they had some excellent sci-fi references, pop culture references in there, which made it very good. Yeah, they were excellent as far as dialogue goes. GTA also has got some excellent dialogue lines. Red Dead 2 and Red Dead 1 both have got some really sarcastic, dry humour.
Yeah, see, this is one of the things I was looking forward to discussing on when it comes to dialogue and stuff like that, especially the funny stuff. Red Dead Redemption 2, the guy I work with has been playing it, and he's normally not easily impressed on gaming. He doesn't normally talk about like things that are really funny, but he was describing like, and you and me have done this as well. You know where you have to go and collect a bounty in Valentine, and you have to go and find the guy who's been poisoning people with their tonic. You end up with this really dramatic scene where you're having to lie to him and say, oh no, they just want you in for questioning, knowing full well they said like 5 minutes ago we're going to hang him, we're guaranteed to hang him. But you go up to this cliff and you're like, no, they just want to talk to you, they've got there's some discrepancies that I just think they weren't clear enough.
So it's like the beginning of the episode of IT Crowd, we're like, there's some men here.
Yeah, that's it. There's some men here to see. Oh, okay, make them a cup of tea and just dives out the window. It's literally that. It's just like, oh, we just want to speak to you. Yeah, they just want to speak to you. Don't worry about it. And then, like I said 5 minutes before, no, we're going to kill him. We're literally the second he gets in, and we're going to make a big show of it as well to show everyone. It's really important that we do.
But we're making an example of him.
Yeah, that's it. We're literally going to make an example of and then he goes, and then he decides that he doesn't totally believe us.
The voice acting in Red Dead has been absolutely exceptional.
Yeah, it really has been.
It's really immersive, really, really clever stuff.
I seem to lost my horse. I left it by the post office.
I'm not falling for that because I'll end up trying to do my cowboy thing, and I found that if I try and do my cowboy thing outside of this podcast, I can do it perfectly. You would believe that I was living the frontier, and you've just recorded the voice. But the second you get me on the podcast, I do this idiotic voice. There's something really weird in the news that I saw, and like I say, when I was looking into this, and it just really caught me off guard. Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Okay, which is, and by the way, the latest game looks fantastic.
Have any of us played Assassin's Creed?
None.
I'm bored. I'm bored of Assassin's Creed. Every year,
it's such a shame because the latest one looks incredible.
It's every year. It's a game. Like, give yourself some time. Rockstar, like, they do this. Give us 6 years, right? And we'll give you Red Dead 2, and everyone does this. Because that's going to be fucking great.
See, I think Rockstar have been really fortunate that they didn't need to keep the money flowing because GTA 5 is still doing well, so they could take their time with their sequels.
How weird is that? That it's still making money.
It's still and really well. Like,
you wait till Red Dead Online goes,
oh shit. It goes up this week, doesn't it?
But that's the thing, though. If you've got a game which is constantly making you money, that gives you time to try and work on other games and go, there's no real rush. Don't worry, it takes as long as it takes. Whereas you take someone like... what other games do the makers of Assassin's Creed make? This is your
Ubisoft. Division.
Watch Dogs, Division, Tom Clancy, South Park games...
All of them are games that took quite a lot of time and effort, and the sales were just okay. I think they had to keep the momentum going because they haven't got that one blockbuster game that's just blowing apart opposition.
I think the last game that made them huge amounts of money is either Rainbow Six Siege or The Fractured But Whole will be the things that made them.
I think Rainbow Six, I think South Park, it was just well received. I don't think it sold that well, but I think a lot of people liked it.
Yeah.
But Rainbow Six still did very, very well for a while. But again, not so big. you can't compare that to say GTA.
No,
You know the funny
GTA it's still having the kind of level of
I wouldn't
sales
say
that's
it's cult level at
unimaginable.
all.
You know the funny thing about GTA? A lot of people forget this. GTA 5 came out first on PS3
Yes, it did. Yeah.
and 360, and it got
got
ported to Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
4 years ago. We've not had
A
next
GTA.
gen GTA. I reckon.
That's very true.
I reckon
That is
now
very
that Red
true.
Dead's out, I reckon.
You reckon that's their next?
Oh, they've been
one?
working.
18
I
months?
reckon 2 years.
Yeah.
I reckon 2020 GTA 6.
Yeah.
I think they've been working on it.
But
for,
like I said, I think this is the difference. Rockstar are in a very fortunate position that they can do that. You know, I think because
dude, they made $800 million in a week.
Yeah. No, and
No,
they're still.
hold on. Nothing does that. That beats film, Avengers, anything.
I was
they
about
made
to say,
$800 million in a week.
It's now in the kind of territory where if you get a game like that where it's 60 hours of play,
It's ridiculous.
60 hours of story.
60 hours of story. Jesus, yeah, sorry, and only cost £50. You're now going to have the option of going. Now got the option of going online.
Yeah.
It's broken records, but it's broken records outside of gaming in terms of entertainment in general. It's almost reached a stage now where people going, "Oh, it's like a movie." It's almost an insult to the game, and that's quite new territory. Where saying a game is like a film is actually an insult.
Because
it's nowhere near. I mean, 60 hours of gameplay alone. You name it. How few TV series are there where there is 60 hours of it?
Very few. So what did you see in the news?
So yeah, they have made an Assassin's Creed board. They're trying to do a crowdfund for an Assassin's Creed board game.
Why?
And I'm trying to picture how that would work. I'm guessing it's like
You can make anything a ball game.
but I'm quite curious. It really got me thinking as to what computer games now do you think would actually make a good board game? Because I thought Assassin's Creed is the last thing on my mind.
I know that they've made a Fallout board game recently, which looks pretty good. But
Have they really?
Yeah, it looks great. All the little you have obstacles where there's like robots, which is pretty cool, but it doesn't interest me. I'm not interested.
Oh
in
no!
playing
And I have to stress this is that
Um,
even if they made the perfect board game, I still wouldn't play it. And like I said, I just can't fathom a good way of doing it. So I'm just curious if you were asked to invent a board game based on a computer game, what would you go for?
Mario Kart.
Interesting. So you'd have all the characters, but none of the excitement from actually playing it on a computer.
You'd have obstacles and stuff, and you'd give them powers. So like you get cards and stuff. Monopoly. So you get like chance or whatever, and you get. So it gives you a power. So you got star power. So you get to move extra fast. So you get to move extra turns. Blue shell. Then you have to go back to the beginning.
Oh, so you're basically saying Mario Kart but Monopoly.
Yeah.
Not Monopoly. Maybe.
It does sound a lot like
That's
Monopoly.
the hard thing.
Mario
though,
Kart, but Mousetrap.
with board games, it's so hard.
It's just shit.
I mean, board games have died a death. I mean, there's no escaping the fact. I mean,
They're still going.
Oh, there's still a cult following for them.
Pie Face is pretty much where it's peaked, let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's
and that game we played where our mouths couldn't shut and we were having to describe words.
I'm saying D. Adam's greatest moment of all time.
Yeah, again, I'll show a clip of that. I'll show a clip of us two doing the little mouth thing because that was great fun. I've still got a clip of that somewhere. Adam looked at me as if to say, I don't think you're going to do that.
I don't think Adam wants. I'm not saying D. I'm saying B on the internet.
No, he will do that because
will.
I love you and you should.
I'll do if he wants. I'll just do me. But we have done it, and that was fun. But the idea of taking like a game or something and just going, you know what, we're going to take all the fun of the game and get rid of that. But instead, we're just going to have cool little characters.
But it works equally the same way when they try and make board games into actual games.
So Civilization.
Okay.
Totally.
Ignoring Civilization, but
everyone walks into that trap. Sorry, Danny, but everyone does.
Okay.
When
but
people go, board games into computer games, it's like, that is literally how Civilization
Electronic Monopoly. Battleships as a...
I love
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Battleships is kind of fun. Actually, no, as a computer game, that does not work.
Shit.
There's certain stuff where it has to be.
It's like Minesweeper, basically, We'll just play Minesweeper. What's the point?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Modern day board games,
Yeah.
she'll hate this.
Okay.
I like pops. They look good.
They don't.
They look good on your shelf. They remind you of the game that you play, but they serve no purpose. Just to look at them.
Oh, that's not going to
no,
well, but I can't
it's true.
fault it.
You just hate them. You're so rude.
Oh, let's play Overwatch the board game. Roll.
I would not play
No.
Overwatch the board game.
Do you know what I mean? No,
Ever.
it's.
Would Overwatch... Hang on a minute. Would Overwatch, the board game, be a stupid idea? Is that as stupid as Assassin's Creed, the board game?
Everything
In board
could
game
be a
form is
board
stupid.
game.
Okay, right. If there's one thing we've established here, I thought, well, maybe there'll be some interesting ones that work. And I was thinking, well, maybe like a Football Manager game, but like board game, and it's
Football
like
Manager.
that's basically like sticker collections, isn't it? That's stupid as well.
It's a Panini sticker book.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I've not thought this through. I thought to myself, there's bound to be some computer games
How do
where
I bring Football Manager into real life? Manage a football team. Next
then I was
question.
thinking, you've got like, what about getting over it? By getting over it by bed.
Rock climbing,
But
that
that's snakes and ladders, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So basically,
It's already
nobody.
been done. It's already been done.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion we've come to. People should stop playing board games. People that want to come up with new ideas for board games, don't bother. Just do a different version of Monopoly. That seems to be the tried and tested
Sorry,
method.
Erin.
It's worked. It's been working for 20 years now. They do Monopoly versions of everything. Rick and Morty, computer games, Mario, Fallout. Make a Monopoly. Just make a Monopoly.
Yeah, make Monopoly and then
it.
don't do anything
And
else.
then just don't bother doing anything else. Because Assassin's Creed Monopoly also sounds ridiculous.
We
I cannot make an
need
Assassin's
that.
Creed board game work. Also in the news, Valve have announced that they are setting up their own VR hardware.
Oh,
Interesting.
God.
And it got me thinking, is VR ever going to be anything other than a novelty?
No.
Because as hard as I've been trying, I cannot think...
Unless they make Roy.
No, that's very true. Because again, the guy I work with was going on about VR, and he was going, "Oh, it's so much fun! It's so much fun! It's so much fun!" And yet doesn't care. If it's like, this could change gaming, and then I'll have a look at adverts to see what VR games are out there, and it's either a direct port of a game that already exists, but with awkward controllers,
Or they change things about the game so the
VR.
immersion is out.
VR
yeah,
is the 3D of technology.
yes,
Yeah.
It
that's
was fun when it
exactly
came out and everyone went, oh,
That's exactly it.
Avatar came out, everyone, ooh,
Everyone keeps doing this.
Blue people,
This is
touch them.
This has
and then a
happened
week later they
several
went,
times.
don't want it.
There's a certain
My eyes hurt.
Well, VR, everyone's like, well, it's out, but do I
There's a
want to pay
certain
200 quid?
no, there are a certain group of people, and I am one of those people, and I've had to train myself out of it. Where as soon as something new and novelty comes
Shiny.
out, I will go, oh, look at the shiny, shiny. I must have the shiny, shiny, and then. For like 2 days, it's the same thing. 3D, VR, all of this stuff. And I say 3D's. This is its like
we had
third
3D
time round.
TV, and I don't think we ever
VR,
got to
it's at
3D.
least the
We're
third
talking
time round.
for 5 years now.
You play it once and you go, this is the greatest thing ever. The second time you go, this is quite fun. Third day, it's on a shelf.
I tried
Fourth
out.
day, you will never use it
I tried
again.
out PSVR at a gaming convention, and I put it on, and it was great. It was like a.
Yeah, it's like a
It
space
was
helmet.
it was a walk across the walk, the film, walk across the, and I was like, okay, this is great, but I made me feel really sick.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
really
was
motion sick.
I
So
don't think I want to play games like this. Years ago, if you told me like put a headset on, like VR, it's going to be a thing, I was like, great. But now it's actually a thing, and I'm like, I don't. It's gimmicky. It's
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say.
like 3D.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I've got, like I said, I used to have a TV with 3D on it.
Every
I've still
film
got
I
the
get,
glasses. I don't even have the
Yeah.
TV, but I never used it. Never.
got the best 3D TV downstairs.
Oh,
Every
yeah,
film I've got,
you really do.
I have 3D and 2D. I'll always watch 2D.
Yeah.
I'll
it
never.
hurts your eyes. I saw.
I can't. I think it's
Did
just
I
a
see the
bit
cinema?
gimmicky.
I saw Teenage
think
Mutant
that's
Ninja
VR.
Turtles and The Hobbit in 3D in the cinema, and my eyes hurt the entire way through the film. I did not enjoy the films at all because my eyes hurt too bad. I'm also motion sick, so anything where things No, it makes me want to vomit.
I just think it's gimmicky.
Yeah,
now.
it's absolutely
it's
gimmicky. But, again, as much as I'm the person who goes, I need to have the latest and greatest thing, I still looked at it and went, this is not going to take off.
No.
And if you ever want a clue that it's not going to take off and it's never going to be mainstream, it's the fact that there are game designers who are actually making games without 3D or VR in mind. We shouldn't be at a case where 2 years into the latest VR, people are still going, well, shall we make our game VR?
Nah. Yeah, don't bother.
No one cares. No one cares. They don't want to. So if that's happened, it's doomed. It's doomed. And gamers were the only ones where you stood a chance when it came to VR. And if they haven't taken it on, it's not going to happen. It's dead. But we keep falling for it.
Of course
all
we do.
fall for it.
It's the shiny. It's fruit machine lights, isn't it? It's look.
This is going to be the latest thing.
I'm
I'm quite curious how many people bought the Oculus Rift when it was like £1,000.
What is it now? 199?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. But it genuinely was around 1,000, and it did not have a shortage of buyers.
Was like 400 quid.
Yeah, PSVR has gone down 185 quid. Yeah.
I still don't.
Sony will not.
Don't put prices down for shit.
The prices if it's doing well, so they're doing this.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
how much does that cost to make? 150 or 180.
I'm curious. Games like Skyrim and Fallout, they've done VR versions, and I'm curious in terms of actual sales. They never mention how many sales they got from those.
Yeah, because I think they bang it all in together, don't they?
They
sale
include
figures.
it, yeah. But I'm really curious. I might do some investigating on this in terms of how many they actually sold. How many people owned VR and the novelty hasn't worn off, and they liked Fallout, and decided that not only will they spend 40 quid on the game in the first place, they'll now spend 40 quid on a new
plus the 180 odd quid or whatever for VR.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just not. I'm curious how many people actually bought it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a novelty thing. But there are still companies going. Like I said, Valve have decided we're going to do VR ourselves.
They collaborated with HTC, didn't they, for the Vive?
Mm-hmm.
That did quite well because that seems to be the one where you got the most immersive experience.
But in VR, it's all relative.
But it's all relative anyway. Really,
it's like this is the most successful of a dead industry.
Yeah.
It's
like saying LG
great.
make the best 3D glasses. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly it. It's like they probably do, but no one's buying them.
Yeah, no one is.
No one cares.
The cinema spent the most money on them.
They're 2 years late to the market if this is what they're doing.
But that's assuming this market ever existed. It's not. It never took off. Like I said, a few people that wanted to be at the forefront bought them. You know what? Most people who bought them were the likes of Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. No one else bought them other than for like.
The question
I'll
is
stream it. I spent £150
like,
extra on my TV because I wanted a 3D one, and I used it 5 times. I tried to use it on Windows. I tried it at the time. I had Windows 7, and I went out of my way to try and get the thing configured so that I could look at little icons in 3D. How sad are you to go? The Internet Explorer sign that stands out a little bit.
Stands out, shiny.
£150.
You're a twat.
No.
Of course I'm a twat. Only an idiot would do that, but I'm the kind of idiot who does that, and I didn't learn from 3D, so I'm definitely learning from VR. I'm not falling for it.
If you want to spend an extra £150 or something, get yourself
VR.
Yes.
Get yourself a robot butler or something.
Danny, what were you about to say? I just interrupted you.
So there's a weird lad in, I believe, Japan, who has made a robot wife because he's played too many games, has lost the ability for social skills, so he's channeled all of his ability into technology.
I have been. I actually researched into this before the
I have done minimal research.
Yeah. I can tell you've just read a thing and gone, they reckon there's robots now. What has happened is a guy in Japan has put out a £13,000 wedding
bargain
for a hologram. He is marrying a hologram.
What hologram?
Which was based on some sort of game or interactive thing that's available, and this Japanese guy has basically taken that character, fallen in love with it, and insisted on marrying it. So the company have sent him a hologram of this character.
He married
and
it.
he had a wedding that cost £13,000. It actually appeared in the BBC, if I remember right.
He married a hologram.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I'm marrying Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
Yeah, that's exactly. Give me 1 second. I've got the character's name here. It's
You know what?
Hatsune Miku. There's a couple of weebs out there, and that might mean something to them. It means absolutely nothing to me.
No idea.
The company have now shipped out 3,000 holograms of this character. As far as I know, this is the first known wedding to a hologram, but it's been shipped out to over 3,000 people.
I would marry so many video game characters.
That's exactly. Well,
just
how
ridiculous.
weird! I was going to discuss this. Well, by all accounts, there's 2 very important things that I found out. These are the 2 bits of information that I took out of it. In addition, because there was a lot to take in.
It's possible. I'm done.
Firstly,
can go.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I may be in trouble here because I have a feeling I know where this conversation's going to go. Apparently, this isn't going to shock any of you, but the wedding is absolutely not valid.
Oh, really? I thought you could really marry a hologram like people that marry cows in Texas.
The BBC worded it as basically the guy... they paid 13 grand for a wedding that was a glorified tea party.
Well, my thoughts are this. Why do people think it's valid? A woman married a cow in Texas. The cow can't sign the fucking wedding certificate. And also, what are you going to have on... joint account.
Look, if he's happy, right?
Yeah, he's happy.
Look,
I'm pleased for him.
I saw the pictures. He could not be happier.
I'll tell you what.
He genuinely could not have looked more proud.
Wedding.
Compared to your wedding, it's hella cheap, yeah.
13 grand isn't too bad.
Look at his face.
Right?
Look at his face that he's pulling knowing
fuck.
his wife's watching live.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Look, if you want to marry a hologram...
I think... Do you know what? Where am I going with that?
So anyway,
I had this...
do you want to hear about my game crushes or not?
Literally what I was about to say is that we've all had, like, crushes on like...
Holograms!
Not necessarily on holograms, but we've all had that computer game where maybe, maybe we're a little bit attracted to that.
Are you segueing into... I know what you're...
Segueing into this, which Danny's refusing to let me do because...
Sorry, go on.
I'm trying to segue into this. Danny and Adam.
Yes.
Who were your biggest gaming crushes?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, 100% Tails, mate.
That's a lie.
I love that as a concept, that you two could have picked absolutely anyone and you're both basically high-fiving going, I'd do Crash Bandicoot. I would. I would do Crash Bandicoot.
My game crushes, if it wasn't against terms of service, guys, I'd go in the other room and get you my creepy Overwatch porn.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you can't show that.
I can't show it on stream, I'm afraid.
She has bought very specific drawings.
So she lasted 2 episodes.
That simply has to be seen to be believed.
And Reaper.
It was fun while it lasted.
Dr. Eggman, yes, Pop. Eggman.
That is the weirdest porn. What is wrong with... No,
we're not saying porn. Right, remove porn from your dictionary for a few minutes. We're not saying porn.
My game crushes, okay. Bethesda betrayed me. They betrayed me hard. Fallout 4, all about Deacon. You can't even romance him in the game. What do? Just cry every time while he tells me about when his wife died, and I'm like, but I love you. Sarcastic motherfucker in your sunglasses.
Out of all of the characters that you can romance on that game, you can romance various robots and stuff, but you can't romance Deacon.
You can't romance Deacon, you can't romance Nick Valentine. If you try, he just says he doesn't have the parts. Can't romance Deacon. Best character in the game.
So you'd say very much top of your list is Deacon.
Deacon. Second on my list is this bad boy.
That would be Reaper.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
What about you, Ads?
Tails. Sonic 2.
Tails.
Fit.
Someone has suggested Crash Bandicoot, and you've basically gone full furry in your head, haven't you?
He has a costume,
Tails.
but he's got to be quiet about it.
Sonic 2. Fit.
Do
you remember the fighting game Dead or Alive?
Vaguely, yeah.
It was a series. It was like, they did like, I don't know, 4 or 5 games. They did a spin-off on the 360 in like 2008. Dead or Alive, beach, volleyball. And this is when the 360... What? No, you look, and this is where Beany will put a clip here. They introduced...
Oh, he will, yeah. Don't worry about that.
Food physics. No, listen. No, you're laughing. This clip is coming on.
Yeah.
And you're going to do... Every adolescent teen bought that game to see this.
To
make them jump.
I don't think I've ever seen...
To remake Top Gun. but with boobs.
I don't think I've ever in my
Tom
life had
Cruise.
anyone stare at me and say the word boob physics with quite the intensity.
You have no idea.
No,
you don't
out.
until you see this. They got it right. So mine is any girl
From beach
in Dead or
volleyball.
Alive beach volleyball, and you will see the clip.
I'm going to clean this up for a second, a little. My first.
I don't think you can clean this up.
I don't know where. Yeah, I don't know how to possibly clean this up. I thought this would be a nice, light-hearted thing, and suddenly we're discussing a particularly attractive fox and a guy.
Tails is fit.
Some ethereal being armed with shotguns. And I've had the words boob physics chanted at me with the kind of intensity that I've never experienced.
You wait. Video.
I'm genuinely looking forward to editing this.
Well,
I can't wait.
No, he will.
I can't wait to edit in the boob physics. It's just that's an image that'll haunt
After
me.
this game came out, they had to stop. They had to stop. They had to. They actually made it. They had to
Despite
tone.
your endless
They had to
letters.
tone down. They had to tone down the bounce. Honestly,
This is incredible. Why did I not do more research into this?
This video
you can't
podcast
do
is
boob
going to
physics.
be incredible. It might take some.
All of the kids are like, yes. Where can I buy this game?
that's
CES is
it.
going to sell out of 360s this week.
What a strange game. Do you have a link in the description by any chance for this terrible
This is not
sounding game?
Linus Tech Tips, guys. We're not like, excuse me for just a second. We're just going to get the link in the
We need to
Oi,
see
Simon.
this realistic boob physics.
All they did was design boob physics and put a volleyball game over it. And sold it. And boys went, oh, I'll buy it.
Once you know where the next conversation is, you're going to think he's going to have to work very hard making a transition from this conversation to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, it certainly sounds like these two had an interesting childhood. But speaking of childhood, Pikachu Detective.
Voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and if I've done my job properly, as we speak, there will be clips of the new Pokemon movie. Pikachu talks.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay, so Adam, movies are very much your specialty anyway. I would say this is very much your strong suit. What are your first impressions of the Pokemon, of this new Pokemon movie?
I know nothing about Pokemon.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
The
Ryan
thing
Reynolds
they
has
got
always been
right
Deadpool.
with this trailer was the kid that finds Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu, no one understands him. Like, whenever they see him, he's like, Pika, Pika. And they're like, oh. But this kid's like, oh, I can understand
Yeah, I
you.
can understand
And it's
the other
Ryan
side.
Reynolds. Here's the problem. That I love the trailer, but it's Pikachu Deadpool.
It is Pikachu.
Do you know what I
Deadpool.
mean?
Yeah,
I love, look, I'm sure the film's going to be great, but that voice now is synonymous, and it's Deadpool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Deadpool.
So
Pikachu.
I think they could have. I don't think they needed Ryan Reynolds.
Because-
I think they could have picked. I think you could have been Pikachu.
I think
you
Seth
could have been
Rogen would have been a better.
But he was poor.
I'd have made
You
a-
could have been Pikachu.
I'd have made a banging Pikachu. I would
because
have made
everyone else he hears Pika Pika, but you're like, oh, you bastard!
Oh, what's this?
Northern Pikachu.
It's a right furry little thing what wants sold crayons.
Here's the thing: it's going to make a ton of money. It looks great. I think it's going to be great. But when he talks, I hear Deadpool,
was so-
and I can't.
So let me get into, with you two. Your major issue with the idea of Pikachu
a big
Detective
issue.
is Ryan Reynolds
No,
is
that's not
playing
my
Pikachu.
main issue with Detective Pikachu.
Dude, it's the
my
voice,
main
bro.
issue with Detective Pikachu is one that Pikachu fucking talks in the first place.
Yes, thank you.
Because Pikachu shouldn't fucking talk. No
I was gonna
Pokemon's
say,
talk.
Elephant in the room
Apart
here,
from
surely.
Meowth. That's the whole point. Pokemons don't talk. Meowth is the only one that talks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Why is
Pika,
Pikachu
Pika.
talking?
Pika, Pika.
I don't like that. Whose voice doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that he talks at all.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
But as far as you're concerned, the fact it's Ryan Reynolds makes it extra jarring.
Everyone, I'm not alone
It
on
is
this.
quite jarring. Yes, it does.
His
make it-
I
voice,
believe it. I
his
think-
voice, because the mask and you can't see his mouth. It's Deadpool, and all I can see is Pikachu Deadpool. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work.
I saw it.
The trailer's great.
Now that you've given me that image, it's great.
Do you know what? The more I'm talking about this, the more I'm really angry about the choice of why they would pick him to voice Pikachu.
In my opinion, they should have just
I get it. They're like, all right,
They wanted someone sassy.
Big name.
They clearly wanted Pikachu to be this sassy
Danny,
little thing, and they thought no one can do like deadpan and sassy better than Ryan Reynolds. So they must have thought
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I could have just done it anyway.
He'd do it for a tenner.
But it's Deadpool.
Pika.
Unfortunately, Ryan Reynolds, I have to watch a talking Pikachu.
What you're about to watch,
Deadpool.
in my opinion, is Green Lantern 2 Pikachu Detective.
But the trailer, it looks great. I think the trailer, the Pokemon, the way they've done it is great. I just wish they hadn't put a big fucking name.
When I heard months ago that they were doing a Pokemon movie, I just assumed it would be, generic sort of Pikachu, Ash, and all that
Misty,
balls.
Brock.
Yeah, Misty and Brock and all that.
Right?
I wouldn't have hated that.
Like the way they've done it.
It looks nice, yeah.
It's cute. Like the way they've done the characters, it's great.
Thing is,
They just had to get
you
Ryan
will
Reynolds.
whinge, you will complain, you will talk about how Ryan Reynolds ruins it. All three of us know we're going to watch it. I can guarantee
I'll
you're going
watch
to
it when
watch
it comes out. I'm not watching it in cinema.
I found out something in terms of movie news, and I didn't even know it was going to happen until I found out it wasn't going to happen.
What,
And
Beany?
it really upset me. So it turns out that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is being cancelled. And I didn't even know that it was going to happen. But as soon as I heard it was cancelled, my imagination went as to what a Five Nights in Freddy movie would have been like. And I thought, it has the potential to be incredible. But it turns out the reason why they're not making a movie is because they're going to be concentrating on making a proper AAA title version of Five Nights at Freddy's. And I can't speak on behalf of you two, but I am hyped for that.
I'm not hyped in any way,
You
shape, or
own
form.
every Five Nights at Freddy's game.
I do. And part of why I like Five Nights at
You and me are
Freddy's...
going to play that.
You're actually a fan of the game.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I actually think it's a great game.
And you think that's going to make a good film?
I like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Have you actually played them? Have you followed like
so
the
you're
storylines and everything?
security cameras, you watch the rooms, the bears, you have to keep
That's
them
one
away.
of 6 games
How
that
is
they've
that gonna-
made.
That's it.
How are they going to make that?
They've
into
made
a-
6 games.
Oh, I've only seen
You've only
one
seen
then.
that one. That one's kind of iconic and made famous because
I think I've seen
several
the main one then.
But they've had
didn't know there
several
was
now.
6.
Yeah. Honestly, the
there's
games
6.
themselves are fantastic.
I like them because I am a shitty pants. Yeah, the bear scares me. Pizzeria Simulator was pretty good, but the bear was more realistic, and Chica had a look in her eye I don't like. So
if anyone hasn't played the
Pizzeria
full Five Nights at
Simulator.
Freddy's, including Adam here, so this
I think I've played the.
You've played
what
one
we
of them.
said, the original.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's
I didn't
Pizzeria
know
Simulator
really
is
6.
free on Steam.
And it's definitely
didn't know
worth
there were
playing.
6
It's a lot of
games.
fun. Yeah, honestly, we'll do a couple of Let's Plays at some point, and we'll add that one to the list.
Okay.
So yeah, well worth playing them. But yeah, I'm kind of gutted at the idea of not having a movie now based on psychotic teddy bears.
One franchise that hasn't, up until this point, been made into a game that you would like to see as a game.
So films I want to see a game version of. Games I want to see a film version of.
Go.
No.
Yes.
Films that you want to see
games that you want to see transposed to a film that hasn't already been done.
Ooh,
Go.
That's a really
I know what
good
yours
question.
is. I'm literally shocked.
Sims
Pixar
movie.
haven't done
No.
a Sims.
A what?
A Sims film. Are you not surprised?
Right,
that
I'm
Pixar
surprised they
gone,
haven't done it. I feel like
Give it
people
time,
would do
baby.
it, and it would be awful. I think it would be like the Emoji Movie, where they just
They've
have like
shit it out for something to do.
where they'll curl it out, just knowing a few people
What are
would get it.
people saying?
I was going to say Fallout, but Tom Cruise has recently done a Mission Impossible called Fallout, so I feel like that's tainted the
I don't care.
franchise to me.
I don't
No,
care.
no, no, no.
I don't care.
I
Make a
think you
Fallout
could
movie. Make a Fallout
You
movie.
could
I
make a
think
sick
you could
Fallout
do-
movie. If you just, even if they just
100%
use the
you could
people
do
that do the
that
fucking
material.
cinematics
Oh
at the
my
beginning of
God.
the games, it would be
Oh my
amazing.
God!
endless
in the
storyline.
vault. the new. Oh my god!
Make it
How
happen.
is it not?
Someone make
No
that
idea.
happen.
Call it Fallout.
Todd Howard has said a couple of times, basically,
Dude, that could be-
they've had people come in and pitch them Fallout films.
I'm really
and
surprised.
that they've kind of agreed to them, and then they've started planning it, and it's just not really felt right.
See, I'm really shocked by that because there's so much you can do with that.
I reckon
there is so much.
You could ham up a shitty script tonight.
Yeah,
I can
And it
write
would
my
be- and
romance
it would
story
be-
with Dean.
You could probably. Do you know what I mean? I'm shocked.
I've watched fans have made like mini films of Fallout.
Considering how long
and
the franchise has
so
been
many
going.
of them have been fantastic. Even on a cheap budget, you can make a great Fallout
Skyrim would
film.
also make an excellent film.
Skyrim really would.
We have Game of Thrones stop.
There's
not
a
the
big
same.
enough difference.
not
There's
the
a-
We
same.
have
There-
Ice Dragons.
Yeah, but that's like saying
Stop.
well, what's the point of making Game of Thrones?
Why
We've
make
got
Game of
Lord of the
Thrones?
Rings.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. We got Lord of the Rings.
Here's my pitch for a film. The greatest game of all time that no one has ever thought of making this into a script. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Lemmings.
Lemmings the movie. If you ever watch...
Can you see the poster?
Um,
I'm impressed
anyone
that
over the
you
age
have
of
come
28?
up with a film worse than the Emoji Movie. I'm genuinely impressed. Okay, so...
There's a film
so
coming
you
out next
sound like-
year.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey is in
Jim
the
Carrey?
Wait, is in the film. The game came out in 92.
Right.
It's just been made into a film. And Jim Carrey is playing the villain of the game. Are you ready? Because I don't think you know this. Jim Carrey is playing Dr. Robotnik in a Sonic movie.
What?
And I'm fucking in.
yes!
Oi, hold on. I'm in. He is, and he's so fucking excited. Jim Carrey does not do films like anymore, but
No,
he's like
pretty much done.
this.
Danny,
He's
we're over here.
he's like, I'm doing this in a Sonic movie.
It could be brilliant.
Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik.
I kind of want it to be like The Grinch, where the bad guy is basically the main
Grinch
part of the
is the
story.
best film.
Because
It
if
is the
Jim
dog.
Carrey is playing
I can't
Dr.
believe they've remade
Robotnik,
it.
it doesn't matter what else is in the film. That will do. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this podcast, and stick with us. We'll do another one next week. There'll be an edited version of this. A really, really heavily edited version of this.
Sorry, guys.
That will go on. That will go on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye!
Bye!